Have you been looking to launch a brand new product on Amazon, but perhaps you don't know exactly how you can stand out from the rest of the crowd? Hi, my name is Aaron Farrell with Sellozo, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about different tools and strategies that you can leverage from both on Amazon and also through the tool Helium 10 to be able to determine differentiation that you can create with your product, so that way you can stand above the crowd and be able to sell to a crowded market. Stay tuned. All right, so hopping right into this Amazon listing, which is pretty generic, right? It's just a spatula, nothing too crazy about this particular product, right? The point of this video is to show you guys how you can take maybe something that's more mundane or very common and essentially try to find out new ways, new strategies that you can leverage in order to continue to sell to that crowded market, as I was mentioning in the beginning of this video. Now, is this going to guarantee your success on Amazon? Absolutely not. This is not a guarantee. Nothing's guaranteed 100% in Amazon, but will this actually allow you to have some leverage and some competitive advantage to the rest of the market? Absolutely. So, the first thing, obviously, that we're looking at right here with the spatula, this product in particular has a ton of reviews. So that's oftentimes one thing that, in order to launch a product, you may start off with no reviews. So you have to have some strategy at least to get those base level reviews, which I've talked about in previous videos with the Amazon Vine program and basically enrolling your product to get up to those first 20 reviews. But outside of that, let's just take a look here and see how else can we differentiate ourselves from this crowded market. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is open up the Helium 10 tool here. And once I've done that, I'm going to go to the review insights. And this is extremely powerful for not only writing your copy for your Amazon listing, but also for doing product research and trying to identify really what issues are out there in the market and what people are already saying about this particular product. And then once you've identified those, then you can actually leverage that data to make a better product, to make something more attractive that people are going to want to buy, right? So right here, as soon as you open this up, basically we've got a review distribution all the way from 1 star up to 5 stars. We can also go in here and select only verified, only helpful, only reviews with images, or ones with videos. And then you can also try to filter down between the 1 star, the 2 star, 3 star, and so on and so forth. But the main thing that I want to really point out here is going to be just taking a look mainly at these 1 star, 2 star reviews and basically see if you can extrapolate any information as to what people are kind of complaining about, right? So right now I can just hit see all, and this is going to list out a bunch of different reviews. Again, we can filter by top review, most recent, 1 star only, 2 star only, different variations even, and then also same kind of filters here, but verified purchase only, that could be a good one, because sometimes if you're not familiar, a lot of people kind of come into an Amazon listing that haven't purchased it in the past, and maybe they're a competitor of yours, and they could leave you a 1 star review just to try to push down your overall review ranking, right? But with this, we're basically making sure that these people have actually purchased the product, so we're getting valid feedback here. And right off the bat, we've got something that says poor handle fit leads to splinters. So number one, you want to make sure that whatever spatula you're going to be sourcing directly from Alibaba or AliExpress or wherever you're getting it, right? You want to make sure that this product is in fact maybe not even wood, right? Like maybe the handle, and it's kind of confusing to be honest, because, and maybe this was an old design, but if we're looking at the product itself, this is all stainless. So I'm not sure how exactly they're getting splinters here, but maybe this is a feedback that they actually, took. So it says the wood handle is the wrong size and poor fit for the metal shaft. So again, this was back in 2020, so chances are maybe they've actually identified this. And that's also a good point too. Maybe you already have a product that's got a bunch of reviews, or it's already established. In that case, you can actually use this review information to make future improvements and to just improve your product overall. So then the next one here, we see thick and sharp angled edges, don't use it. It says it'll mess up your seasoned wok. So again, like, not only are these things that basically can be used to try to make adjustments, but you can also use this exact verbiage on your copy for your listing. So basically you could say, just as an example, are you sick and tired of poor handles that lead to splinters? If so, this product's for you. Like, we've got an all stainless steel handle that will never lead to splinters, and make sure that you're flipping your burgers in luxury, right? Something like that. I'm not a copywriter, so don't quote me there. Yeah, the point is here, it's kind of twofold. It's basically trying to identify all these different things, and making sure that you kind of right the wrongs of the old product, so to speak, right? Like, you try to improve upon it. Conversely, you actually might want to look at some of the 4 or 5 star reviews, right? You can hit see all here, and again, make sure verified purchases only. But this is going to tell you what you want your product to definitely have. Maybe there's a bunch of different variations, different types of things, but if you're starting to notice that a bunch of people are giving good reviews on a particular feature or functionality of the product, you're going to want to make sure that your product also has that as well. So let's see here, basically absolutely a must-have in the kitchen, restaurant quality. So it says absolutely blown away with the quality of the product. This is definitely restaurant quality. If taken care of properly, this could last generations. It's one solid casting, no hollow spaces or grooves that could collect moisture or food particles. These types of things are really important, right? Just making sure that your design of your product that you're about to launch actually can fulfill a lot of these things that people are talking good about, right? The other thing, I mean, you really would have to read through a bunch of these. Also, you can download these reviews into a CSV or comment separated value file, which is basically a fancy way of saying a spreadsheet. But once you've done that, you can take all this information and do whatever you want with it. Now, the other thing you can do is look at all of these questions and see out of this. It says right here, can't tell from photos, is the wok spatula flat or curved so it can ladle the sauce from the bottom of the wok. So right here, this is an identification of what you might want to actually put in a product image, right, based on these questions. Because if people are asking for this particular listing, chances are they probably have been reviewing a bunch of different spatulas, and maybe there's none out there that actually show a lifestyle photo of them using the spatula within the wok, right? So maybe you do a lifestyle photo to show exactly that. The other thing here is top phrases. So wok spatula, that's pretty common. Easy to clean, stir fry, well made, very sturdy, with my wok, good quality still wok. So these are words that you're probably going to want to incorporate somewhere, at least in your listing, if not in the title, maybe in the bullet points, because they're really like words that your customer base is using, right? So you want to kind of speak to that audience. And a lot of times when we're launching products, we may not necessarily know that particular avatar, that particular audience that we're trying to speak with. So that's where this Helium 10 tool comes into, basically helps us out a lot, right? Because now we can take a look at a listing that's got over 3,000 reviews and actually start to dissect what exactly these reviews are saying. Now, the next thing is review analysis. Now, I like this one a lot because we're seeing not only those different phrases and the words, but we're also seeing the average review and the number of reviews that are actually saying that as well. So here we can really start to identify maybe some things that could have gone wrong, and without actually reading through every single review, right? So just trying to see if we can find a good example here. So this one's interesting, 2.7, and it says I ended up. And basically if you click down here, it's going to show those particular reviews that say I ended up. So this says I ended up scratching my wok. I ended up tossing it. I ended up getting in my own way. These different phrases as well, you just can kind of dissect them. And it says this one right here, this is a good example. I think this one will last forever. Well made, will last forever. Pretty solid piece of metal that will last forever. You kind of get the point here. It's just really trying to go through and try to identify out of all these reviews where you can improve upon and where you need to make sure that you at least focus in on particular new features or new functionality. And wanted to show you as well product variations. So when I go to this tab, this is also very important, especially if you're trying to sell something maybe that has a bunch of different colors and you're really trying to determine, all right, should I launch the black version? Should I launch the white version? Should I launch the red version? You know, what are people actually out there buying the most of? And this allows you to kind of dissect that by looking at review count by particular variation. So right here we can see the first one that's leading the charge is the wok spatula, which is their color, and they do have a wooden handle wok spatula as well. That one has a lot less review count and also a lower average review due to probably that wooden handle, right? And then last but not least, we got the spotted spatula, only 12 reviews and only 3% of the review share, and a 4.6 as well. So on average, we're seeing that the wok spatula, this particular variation, is the best reviewed. It's got the most reviews, so chances are it's probably the highest seller. So if you had to pick between all three variations, which one to actually go after, probably going to want to try to emulate something like the wok spatula. If we go back to the images here, we can see, I mean, we've got this image right here where they're censoring out the people. That looks kind of weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. Kind of using a little bit, I mean, the spatula to pick up, like, to be a hamburger, but doesn't really show you a good angled view of how it's actually able to pick up the sauce, for example, in a wok. And yeah, I don't even see in any of these images them actually using a traditional wok. So that's could be improved upon for their listing, but this isn't really about their listing. It's more or less about what you can do to launch another product that is at least competitive or potentially even better than what's already out there on the market. So now the next thing that I want to point out, which is just kind of on the front end of Amazon, you don't even need Helium 10 for this, but you can actually use some tools inside of Helium 10, which I won't be covering in today's video, but just right at a high level here, we can actually take a look at what people are buying with this particular spatula. So we can see that they're actually buying a traditional wok, and then they're also buying the 7-inch cleaning whisk right here, which are $7.97, and pretty much it's giving them an option to buy all three. So now if you're looking to differentiate yourself in the market, well, maybe instead of just selling spatula, maybe you have a whole different bundle that you're selling that's specifically for cooking Asian food, right? Like, so you include the spatula, you include the actual wok, and then you also include the cleaning whisk. Or maybe you're trying to keep your price down and also the complexity of this bundle down. So in that case, maybe you're just selling the actual spatula and then the cleaning whisk, and you're combining those together, and rather than maybe charging $11.98, you're charging $19.98 or $19.97 or whatever your price might be. But this will allow you to stand out from the other competition when you just go straight up to Amazon and you're trying to search for a spatula. So if I go back here to the main search, just seeing a bunch of different spatulas, seeing some that include 2 different types, some that include a whole set of silicone based spatulas, right? A bunch of different kind of combinations of things, but no one that's specifically hitting this market with the wok, right? So that's something right there. If you guys were looking for a product idea, you'll probably launch that and do pretty well, because a lot of times people are just looking to solve a particular issue. Like, they just want to make some food that requires the wok, right, and the spatula, but they don't want to have to go through all of Amazon Amazon, reading all the different reviews and trying to decide what particular spatula is good, what particular cleaning whisk is good, and which particular wok is good. And you've kind of done the work for them. You made it easy for them to actually make that purchase and not have to do as much research. So Amazon buyers, I mean, they're all buying pretty much on convenience, right? So with that said, why not try to make it as convenient as possible for them to buy and the highest quality possible that you can source, and try to be competitive, you know, with your pricing on, or even be maybe more premium on your pricing. You know, you don't have to necessarily be right in the middle or at the bottom. You don't want to necessarily have a race to the bottom, just lowering your price continuously. You want to actually be an offer that no one else has out there on the market, and then that way there's no comparison. So hope this video has been informative for you guys. Hopefully you've got some ideas from it in terms of how you can leverage it inside of your Amazon business, whether that's just starting out or whether that's trying to get into the Amazon space and just determine what product you're going to sell. If you got some value from this video, if you could give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified of other videos just like this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.